Hi there, welcome to the Healing Hearth. My name is Liz here, and I'm gonna be honest, pardon my pardon my appearance. I came running back from the gym because I just got this message to do this reading for the collective, to do a little ode to the underestimated, because I think that we can tend to be our own worst critics, and we tend to accept other people's underestimations as facts, as that's who we are. And I just don't feel that's true, and I got really angry. And I got the message that a little pep talk might be needed. So I'm here, sweaty and ready. And so is Gomez. Oh, here we go. All right, now we got everybody in the family here. We're ready. So I'm just going to do a quick, I need this. I don't know if anyone else needs that. Hi, welcome. And Gomez needs it. We're going to do a quick grounding and centering breath to just kind of calm the fuck down, Gomez, and we'll go from there. So if you're ready, willing, and able, we'll take a deep breath in. We let it go. With that exhale, just let go of the day, let go of expectations, yours and others. With each inhale, we breathe in light, love, protection, joy, hope, peace, centeredness. And we release any self-limiting beliefs, self-limiting timelines, negative attachments, self-doubt, low self-worth, and negative scripts. We inhale this beautiful, loving, white light, protective energy to look over us, to protect us, to guide us through our days for our highest and best good for all those involved. I ask that the loved ones, ancestors, angels, spirit guides, and spirit team of every single one who will be tapping into this message come forth and help translate to my spirit team, to translate to me, to deliver a message of what is most needed at this time for those who feel underestimated, who feel a little bit low in their power, and help me give them a little pep talk of how to rekindle that flame and how to recapture that light. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, so I was working out. Yeah, I know. Gomez is a nut job, man. He's just like, I'm not ready to be centered and grounded, so I'm just gonna leave. Which is fine. That's fine. No distractions, baby. So I was on the elliptical, right? I was sweating it out. I was thinking about certain conversations I had today. People not really believing what I say, people kind of underestimating my intelligence, my what I bring to the table, which is fine. And it brought me back to this conversation I've had with my dad a lot, actually. Because as a child, one of my personal biggest triggers is when people don't believe me, right? It's like people kind of brush you off, and it's never an indication of me, and I recognize that. But in the moment, my inner child can get so triggered and be like, oh man, they are rejecting me, they're abandoning me, they're saying I'm not good enough, so I must not be. And, my dad always said, he's like, people have always underestimated me, and that's kind of the secret to my success. And so I wanted to share that because when people underestimate us, when people underestimate the light and the love that we bring to this table, it's really a light on them, isn't it? It's not really a light on us. And so I kind of want to work through that challenge in ourselves where we take on the ownership of limitations set forth by others. And I want to put together an intentional reading of how we can overcome that, So let's see. Well, we got one way flying out there now. Queen of Swords, man. Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, she's very direct with what she says, and she says what she means. And she's also very confident and sharp-tongued. So, what I'm getting from this is we have a tendency in our society to kind of elbow ourselves. When I say elbow ourselves, it's kind of softening what we have to say so it's more palatable for other people. And the Queen of Swords is like, no, I say what I meant the first time. There is value in what I have. to say, and to believe that, to have the confidence about that, to kind of embody that. I mean, if you didn't have value, why would you be here? Do you know what I mean? And I can see how that's like an easy tunnel towards, you know, a spiral if you're not grounded and centered in who you are. If you're centered in your opinion and other people's opinions of you, you're never truly going to know who you are, because no one can know you as well as you know you. Do you see? So you're kind of setting yourself up for this like maze / spiral situation where you never see your true light. The High Priestess. This is all about connecting to that inner knowingness, about in those moments when we feel most triggered, when we feel most challenged about who we are, when someone has the audacity to tell us who we are. First off, let's start there. We just kind of need to take a pause, take a breath, and just come back to ourselves, you know? Understand that feelings that like irritation or anger or sadness or just that uncomfortable with not feeling fully like enlivened in your skin, those feelings are really just signals that they're opportunities for growth. They're opportunities to challenge yourself. And I'm going to start this right now. If you're not okay with other people challenging you, I just want to say that it is what it is, man. And you have to be open to challenge, especially challenging yourself, because otherwise, how do you grow? How do you grow past that? And so the High Priestess and the Queen of Swords coming in here is just a reminder to tap in that we all have this inner knowing about ourselves. We all have this inner truth about ourselves. And we have to be true to that truth, and we have to say it as it is, no matter if it's going to hurt other people's feelings, because we came on this planet, yeah, dude, King of Swords came out. So that's the epitome, that's the balance of the like action and receiving, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and seeing, not in that order obviously, but like seeing that like what you say does truly have value. And when people reject what you say, when people reject and say like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or just ignore you entirely, or just gloss over the details, or skim an email you read and then come at you with like harsh questions, and you have to do that professional, like, per my last email, which is, everyone knows, kind of like a, but, sorry. The Six of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles came out both in the reverse, which means that as you get to know yourself and as you stand more in your authenticity of speaking your truth and saying it as it is, unapologetically, and just showing your true colors unapologetically, it's not necessarily going to feel like a win, especially if you've been conditioned to curb your own personality and your own needs to others, right? To serve others before yourself. And I know a lot of people that follow me, I know are empathetic and I know are sensitive to energies, and that's okay. That's like just the way it is. But in doing so and returning our attention to ourselves instead of others, if you're used to paying attention to the social cues of others instead of to yourself first and foremost, it's not gonna feel like a win to speak your truth and to listen to your heart and to listen to your intuition. It's a muscle, right? And if you haven't worked it out for very long, it's going to be sore. It's not gonna feel very strong, but with time and with diligence, it's going to get easier, and you're going to end up putting yourself in situations, first of all, releasing the situations of people who don't value what you say and people who don't believe you. Because just because they don't believe you doesn't mean that there's not value in what you say. You could have accidentally tripped upon a trigger and then they just project it on you like it's your fault. Like, that has nothing to do with you. That's them not knowing their own insides, their own energies. And maybe they're projecting it out on you because they don't ever actually turn around to look at it in themselves. So their reaction to protect themselves and to protect their own inner child and their own heart space is to point the finger back at you and be like, you don't know what you're talking about, or to just ignore you entirely. And so in these moments when we feel unheard and when we feel uncentered, it's kind of like, take a moment, don't, what just popped in my head is, don't rush to conclusions. Like, you don't necessarily know exactly what's going on in that person's head, just like they have no idea what's going on in your beautiful little brain, you know what I mean? So extend grace where you can, But first and foremost, extend the grace to yourself. And if you have to protect yourself with those boundaries, Hermit card, I'm not making this up. It takes some serious introspection to come to this place of comfortability with yourself. Is that a word, comfortability? Who cares? It is for me. And so and when we're trained in this people-pleasing world where we have to cater to other people's feelings, that other people's feelings are more important than our own, it can feel isolating to switch it, to prioritize yourself. And this is just a reminder, it's not selfish to give yourself value. Other people are only going to see your value if you give yourself value. So name your price. What are you worth? What are you worth? I also see, the thing is when you get into that mindset where you're really cutting out old timelines and people who don't really serve you or really have your best interests at heart, it can feel very alienating and it can feel very isolating, because sometimes you just got to clear out the old relationships before the new, more beneficial ones can really come in. And it's hard. It's so hard, and it can feel so isolating, and it'll make you, if you're used to doubting yourself, that ego mindset is going to go on loop, right? It's going to keep saying like, you're in the wrong here. Look, you're all alone. You're a weirdo. You're isolated. Don't you see that? Don't you see how you're the weird one here? You should just go back to the old way you were. And it gets in that ruminating thought. And that's when the Knight of Pentacles, bad boy, he pops and he's like, all right, let's try. And with the swords, I just remembered, swords are associated with air. So when you're all in that ruminating thoughts, it's just like, can you just take 3 cleansing breaths? Take 3 deep breaths. If it helps, hold your heart, hold your stomach, and just let yourself breathe, let yourself melt. Call back your energy consciously to yourself and release anyone else's attachments to you. And give yourself like 2 minutes. Like I had low-key a panic attack in the car based off something someone said to me, which of course they didn't mean anything by. It was just like, I was just taken aback, and I felt the doubt, I felt the doubt creeping up. And so I really had to just like turn off, like park, turn off my car and take a deep breath for like 3 minutes and just re-regulate myself to my own energy, to release any negative projections or any projections I put on myself, because I don't know what that other person's thinking. I don't know what they mean when they say these, when they react that way. I don't know what's going on in their world, and so it's not fair. It's not fair for me to judge, be like, oh, they're rejecting me. And like justice card, talk about fair. Justice card on the bottom, it's kind of like, worry about yourself. Worry about your damn self. Because, and I know that's like my ego, her inner child of feeling unheard and feeling misled and feeling confused. I know that that's my trigger and that's my reaction to be like, oh my God, you don't understand me. I have to over-explain myself, or I have to get you to forgive me when I don't even know if you're mad at me. I don't even know where you're coming from. And it's just like, breathe. Wheel of Fortune coming out here in the reverse. Just like, we're really going to break that cycle. And I want to give everyone homework of just, when you have those moments, just a friendly reminder to take a pause, and that any intrusive thoughts that come across your brain are not fact. They're just feelings. They're invitation to heal. They're invitations for introspection. They're invitations to come home to yourself and realize that maybe, and I feel called out, so sorry if this triggers you, but like, maybe you don't know everything. Maybe you don't know where that person's coming from, even if you're super in tune. Maybe you're just in your feelings. Sun card. Dude, maybe it's just all in your head. Maybe it's just the filter that you've been trained to see through, like a hurt inner child who was misunderstood, who was unheard, who was ignored. And maybe that's you. And I hear you. I feel you. I'm with you. But just because we were told to shut up then doesn't mean we have to shut up now. I didn't mean to say that, but that just came out. And we just need to work on ourselves consciously to be able to shine our light in this unapologetic, bright way. And, just be. Just be. And what a complicated, simple thing to just throw at people, right? Just be. Which is solid advice. It's so deep, but it's so simple. And the mind, we love to complicate things because that's what the mind does. The mind loves to figure shit out. So if there's nothing to figure out, we'll make a problem to fix it, to keep the mind active. And so that's a reminder to me in those moments of those triggers to, thank the ego for trying to protect ourselves. We're not trying to get rid of ego. We're just trying to pull her into balance with our intuition, right? We literally have the ego card and the intuition card, the two. And so we're looking for, and the justice card was on the bottom at one point. I lost it because I shuffle mindlessly. We're looking for balance between this two, between the ego and the intuition, and to understand that our thoughts might not necessarily be our intuition. Our thoughts might just be negative, intrusive thought patterns that we've conditioned ourselves to believe out of our own survivalist instinct to assume the worst for our own protection. And I just don't think we need to do that anymore. I think that if we shine our lights unapologetically, we might attract flies to our light, but we might also, attract so much more. We might attract moths, we might attract butterflies, we might attract, honey. Yeah. It's like you can attract bees to honey or you can attract flies to honey. They'll both come. And that's when the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords comes in with boundaries. I said what I said, and what I say has value. And you cannot diminish me, and you cannot make me feel small because I'm not small. Because that's simply not the truth. If that's how you view me, fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But I'm going to keep doing me. And so we're going to just keep unapologetically showing up as ourselves. And I love that. So to those who feel underestimated, to those who feel undervalued, to those who feel looked over or skipped over or ignored entirely, or just unseen, unheard, I see you. I hear you. You have value. You really do. And I don't want you to be sold an untruth, because we're all here as these unique beings with our own unique differences, which we've been told by society is to be polarized, to be stopped, to be unified, to be whatever. Fine. But look how pretty my drawings outside of the lines are. Look how beautiful the colors in its entirety are. Just because it's outside the lines, just because it's outside the box, doesn't mean it's not beautiful. Doesn't mean it's not needed. So if you find yourself tripping over people's triggers accidentally, don't go beating yourself up. They probably needed those triggers to be shown to themselves to see how they can improve. And if they don't take the call for improvement, that's fine. That's on them. But don't make yourself small for that benefit. Don't bring yourself down, to their vibrational level. You've brought yourself so far, and you should give yourself credit for that. You are the shit. You really, really are. And I love you for it. And so that's it. I just want to pop on, do a little pep talk. I love pep talks. If anyone's interested, I offer one-on-one intuitive tarot readings. I like to work with, people who are empathetic and, people who are self-aware. And I like to assist in the journey towards self-empowerment. And so that's why the Healing Hearth exists. That's why I'm here. And so I'm consciously thinking up programs and workshops to have with people, but I'm also just a person that's cool to sit back and talk with for an hour. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be authentic as I am. I mean, look, I didn't even freaking shower for this video. Sorry. At least it's not smell-o-vision, but I just, I vow to be authentic, I vow to be honest, and I vow to, sit in my integrity and just be real with you guys. And so I would love to assist anyone who's interested in their own self-healing journey, and to be their cheerleader, empower them, and to do the cards and tell them what's most needed at this time, and to help keep that ego and the intuition in balance, in balance, not imbalance. I mean, in balance. So if you'd like to book with me, my website is healinghearth.net. I also do a blog. I just started a blog, so I'll be doing that like twice a week. And so I'll be doing like little written messages. You could sign up for that via email and get updated when I do that thing. What else do I got? Oh, I got like a written tarot report. So if our schedules don't gel, and you just have a question, you email me the question, and in receipt of payment within, I think it's like 48 hours, I give you a tarot report back. Which is like 2 to 3 write-up of what I see and what I feel about the situation that you're asking about. And then I I'll hop on Instagram and do like $10 card pulls through Cash App. That price is going up, by the way. Just fair warning. I'm gonna up that price to $15 soon. Not this week, but maybe in like 2 or 3 weeks. And then last thing is I do like 10-minute video messages so you can see my face, and I'll just do a 10-minute reading video that'll be timeless for you, of whatever spirit wants you to know and to keep in mind that you can revisit, and then that's sent to you by email. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I love you. I'm sending you so much love, so much light, and so much healing. Speak your truth. You have value, and I can't wait to see what you have to say and what you serve up. All right, love you. Bye.